October 23rd. We do have one public hearing. We will begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Jerry, do you want to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Denise, will you take the roll, please?
Patrick Halpin.
Present.
Frank Santos. Julianne Nolan. Jerry O'Neill.
Present.
Dan Truchin.
Present.
Ed Wynn.
Present.
Juan Leon.
Present.
Rich Grow.
Present.
Greg Gaxiola. Rich Casey. Matt Esposito.
All right, before we start the public hearing, I'd like to read this statement into the record. The Planning Board shall have the right to rely on any information that is presented by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the Planning Board may determine that any approvals, building permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void. Denise?
Item A, public hearing, site plan review, job number 21-24A. Pablo Tupacek proposes to construct a 6,932 square foot, 3-story mixed-use building for 4 commercial tenants, office and retail, on the first floor, and 25 apartments, 13 studio and 12 one-bedroom on the second and third floors. Legally maintain an existing 3-car garage with an office above and associated site improvements.
Who is here on behalf of the applicant?
Alfred M. Sutton, architect for the applicant.
Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I will.
Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. I just want to qualify that our engineer who did the site plan, I'm going to interpret those aspects of the project for you. We did the architecture on the main building. I could proceed with our first, and we are compliant with all the bulk zoning laws. So for the most part, except for one exception, which I'll touch on, is...
I interject for just one moment. I
Sure.
apologize. I should have asked you this before you began. The Planning Commission on October 17th issued a memorandum regarding this application.
Yes.
Has your client been completely briefed on this, and does your client have any concerns, any issues that they would like to bring to the board's attention regarding any of the conditions, covenants, or restrictions?
I believe the answer to that is yes. And do you have any qualifications? No? Okay, all right.
So there are no objections to any of the conditions,
No.
covenants, or restrictions? Okay.
The answer is no, so we're good to go, hopefully.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up. So, almost as of right, and we now have our parking deficiency, which is essentially our primary mountain to climb. By direct calculation, we're required to have 41 stalls. We can only provide on-site basically 26 stalls, which gives us a 15 parking stall deficiency. We could park, excluding the entry apron in the front right along the main road on Great Neck Road. You can get 2 more stalls. So we have 13 missing parking stalls. We're very fortunate in a way, or we feel we are, in terms of not burdening the village too much directly across the street from a public parking lot, which is useful. We're also 500-foot pedestrian walk to the train station, and to me, and we felt that this was a positive aspect because of the nature of, we'll say, development that we've been involved in. There are a percentage of people that don't have cars, and they live their entire lives where they basically walk to a train station, take the train. If they're going to go someplace special, they Uber it. So it's a lifestyle. More in Nassau County, we've done some development, and it's like that. So we feel that it's genuinely will not overly burden Copeg with, cars that we don't know where to put. I think there will be a percentage of the tenants that don't have cars. So the look of the building, so we feel is appropriate. This is what we term a transitional style, where it's a mix of modern, clean lines and a traditional gabled look. So we feel it will be a positive asset to the neighborhood and to Copeg Village. At the same time, the mixed use brings in that pedestrian shopping and restaurant. There was a deli on that corner. It's going to be reinstated as the primary anchor store. And ultimately, it, again, will serve the neighborhood at the same time as helping itself. The inside of the building, the apartments, there's a large section you can see. Oh, there you go. On the market to the right, and this is from the rear view that you see the flat side. But these are the front. Go back one more slide. Okay, thanks. Okay, yeah. So this is the street view, which essentially it's a mixture with gabled roofs, and basically there's no floor up above. Those dormers and those big gables are strictly decorative, and they don't translate back onto the roof. And essentially, there is a functional part to them because they do screen out any rooftop mechanical equipment. So it has a favorable appearance to the neighborhood. We feel that, I guess, a mixture of the stucco and then the stone or brick along the base of it will be, again, attractive and easily, for shoppers and stores and like that. Trying to think of what other benefits. On the site, we're agreeing to the green development. We can put a significant solar array on this roof, no problem, and we do that on most commercial buildings. We suggest it to the owners, and there's a significant benefit on that on the long run, electric use. I'm just trying to think. That's pretty much the synopsis for me on terms of the building itself. We have amenities built into the floors itself. There will be a gym and things like that up on the upper floors. Basically, the mixture of studio and one-bedrooms are essentially just necessary because of the geometry of it. And we tried to make, you can see in the center there, that's a gym with the glass off the corridor. That's something that on other projects, it became a very popular asset for the people living in the units. That's pretty much it. We're really excited about getting it going. It's been a long development process, and we hope you and the village will enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Do any of the board members have any questions? Jerry?
From the parking lot, is there an entrance to the rear of the market? I see a door there.
Yes. What happens is, and predominantly that goes into the store, but we were anticipating that as more of the back, like loading and unloading. But all the stores go through. We're anticipating that they will be more inclined to be frontal, and the back is for loading and stocking. So you see those 4 columns to the left? You can drive in and drive under and make a full U-turn on the site we have over 40-foot radius when you come in. So there's only one apron access to the front. I mean, the possibility of cross-access easements to the neighbors is always open. It just has to be negotiated with those neighbors. Sometimes what would seem logical to happen, the neighbors don't get along and they will obstruct that. But we're open to that. I think the owners are inclined. But
Could you go over that again? You're talking about cross-access easement in the back of the parking
Oh,
lot?
I'm sorry, it's not an easement, but I read in development, in the planning part of the site, and it was suggested that in the future, like the building next door to it, that we might be inclined to combine an access point so people wouldn't have to go back out into the street, like a shared parking. Does that make any sense? I see you bold, or like, you think?
Yeah, that could solve a problem in the future, but with so few parking spaces for
Yeah.
tenants to have stores, employees, and customers in the first floor improvements, I don't see it.
Oh,
I
well,
don't,
as
that's a
I
huge reduction that you're requesting.
Oh, well, it's essentially, we have 63% of the required parking, and which is what we have, that's what we're showing. And we're anticipating, and it's, you know, I wouldn't personally, I'm in the kind of generation where we live with the car, never see it. I have a niece and 2 nephews, they all live in the city. They're in their 30s, mid-30s, none of them have cars. They live their whole life by Uber and walking pedestrian to the train station, that type of thing. I think that it is a transition that we're actually living in. And to me, you know, I only brought up the cross access to sites because I read it in the comments from engineering that they were suggesting that that would be something that could happen in the future. And I was just wanted to offer that the owners were not opposed to that. If there's a benefit mutually where people can go shopping and park one place, and if there's a nice restaurant in this building, they don't have to necessarily park right directly close to it. But we're absolutely aware of the, you know, the congestion with the vehicles, and we're here hopefully to, you know, recognize that we don't want to overburden the village. They reduce the apartments partially for that, and you know, for that purpose, so that we, you know, don't bring in too many. But you're not convinced.
I'm not convinced.
Okay.
That's not much parking for residents,
Yeah,
employees of the stores,
yeah,
and customers of the stores. Employees have a very bad habit of parking in front of their stores and not leaving space for customers to park there. I like the appearance of the building. I think it would be a very attractive addition to downtown Copiague. Just not crazy about this parking relief.
okay. If well, we're doing the best we can to work with you on it, and ultimately, if there's a suggestion in terms of like a tangible number in terms of the units, we're driven partly by, you know, feasibilities of these projects are not as, you know, they're fairly cut close in terms of development costs are high. All the things that happen globally impact on things like this, and so the number of units balances out the development cost. And I know it's not like an automatic in any way. So the number of units absolutely matters to the function and the success of the building. So we're
We have
hoping.
another question, Dan?
So I have a few questions. My first question is, you mentioned cross-access easement. You already have one with your...
Yeah.
Okay.
We know that.
So you're
yes.
saying in the future, other...
It's happened where we did a building, and this is the intangible future. I probably, you know, like something happens to the building next door, and someone develops it, and
Got it.
they approach us.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
that's all. So
My next question is the parking garage structure?
Yes.
Is that says it's remaining as a parking garage?
yes, it's there, and it's counted. 3 stalls are essentially part of our parking in the. And the second floor is basically, it's 900 square feet. It is office use only. That's the intent, and it's existing.
And by office use, is that planned to be rented out for office? Is that going to be part of the management office that's already incorporated into
It's
the
a very
building?
good question, and my understanding from the owners is that they were going to use it for their office, and, but it's, is that it? Okay, great.
Which
So-
would be separate from the management office that is specifically on this.
Correct.
Okay. My other question, where's the loading zones? I mean, they are small retail spaces.
Yeah.
So I don't anticipate you having some type of retailer that has high volume.
Yeah.
But your loading zones are directly by the handicap spots, which is a concern for me.
Yeah, it's probably not a great spot for the handicap stalls, to be honest, I'm looking at. Part of the reason they're there, I would be inclined to move them towards to the lower part of the screen that I'm seeing, and the significant benefit is that dashed line and those 4 pylons, those columns, that entire area is completely covered. So on a rainy day, loading, unloading, that's an ideal spot to do it. And we have 14-foot clearance under it, so we know that delivery trucks and that'll clear it. And it's a good point about I'm the interpreter for the site. I didn't do the site, but we can easily relocate the handicap stalls away.
And then the kitchens, are they going to be electrical kitchens or are they going to be gas-based kitchens?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Kitchens and the studios, and are they going to be gas-based or electric?
Probably gas. Yeah, that's like, again, it's a little early. We'll make the decision.
So with that, where is the gas pipe and the actual metering going to be? Are they going to be sub-metered, or where is all that going to be? Is that going to be housed in an actual utility room, or is that going to be on the exterior?
These are great questions. So, from an engineering and the mechanics of the building itself, functionally, most of the time we would put each of the, say, apartments, we have our 25 apartments, they have a unit inside the unit that does everything, the hot water and the essentially cool and warm air. And that unit's a stand-up unit in a closet, and it's fed a direct line, gas line or whatever the choice is. So on that end, and for the split systems of the air conditioners, all those compressors go on the roof. And then now we have a fairly hefty gas regulator for the deli that's preparing food. It would be in that back area, and certainly.
So I see it on the plan now. So
Yeah.
my only concern with that is that it doesn't seem that any bollards are in there, and my concern would be if someone accidentally hit their gas pedal because
Yeah.
they didn't realize they put their car in drive,
Yeah.
they could hit that. So if we could just make sure we add that to the review, because that should be protected. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? I have a question. In item 22, under the heading of conditions, there is a section here that's devoted to the potential parking complaints coming from neighbors, and that your client, the owner, has agreed that once they receive a certified letter
Yeah.
regarding the parking problems, that they would have 30 days to resolve that. Could you let us know how they might resolve it,
Okay.
other than telling people to park down the block?
Yeah, no, I could see. It's, we do quite a bit of work in more congested areas in Nassau County and Oyster Bay Cove and like that. And what could happen is, and we did this for a project, this was out east actually, a remote parking lot where they essentially, this was for a catering hall, but they had an off-site. They purchased the property that was near this property, or their own, and then they would shuttle. I know it's actually a factual, and they did this where, the distance, and these are hypotheticals, but that was a solution where it's a site that's near enough that would be ideal that they could walk, and that would be designated parking for this building. So you purchase a small site, a small lot that's not suitable maybe for a large building and that, and it becomes a parking lot. And essentially, that offsets the burden, and it disconnects the complaint. It's possible that if the clause is built in where there's a complaint, it's registered, and if, the tenancy, in terms of signing leases and stuff, they don't happen all at once. It's going to happen progressively. At some point, if there was a problem, you would possibly have, yeah.
Hold on, you have to come
Oh,
up.
sorry. Yeah, that's okay. Support. I need support.
We have to swear you in. Please state your name and address for the record. You can pull that microphone towards you.
Thank you. My name is Katarzyna Tupacek, and what was the question again? I'm sorry.
And what is your address?
Oh, it's 258 Seagram's Lane Center, West Islip, New
Okay,
York.
do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth?
I
Nothing but the truth?
swear to tell the truth, the whole truth. So, one way, as Al was suggesting, we do own properties nearby to this site. We own 517 Oak Street and 513 Oak Street. As he said, this is going to be something that the whole building won't be full all at once. It will take time and everything. We do have other means for property nearby that can be used. I mean, probably that property, 517 and 513 Oak Street, how far is it from this address? It's like probably... Yeah, it's extremely close. So there is means. I do want to also mention, though, we do have other means in order to get more parking for this right nearby. But I also do want to mention that these changes were recently made, as the board knows. The other buildings that went up, the requirements were a lot less when it comes to terms of parking, because before it was half a parking spot for a studio. So comparatively to the other buildings nearby, we do have significant parking spots compared to the many developments that went by. So the other ones, I'm pretty sure I think this changed recently. I want to say probably half a year ago. I'm not quite sure. But this was a recent change. So comparatively to the buildings that went up, this is a lot of parking spots, but if we needed more parking spots, there is a way for us to get those parking spots. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Is there anyone here who would like to address the board regarding this particular application? Come on up. Please give Matt your card. Pull that mic down if you want. Please state your name and address for the record.
Rosanna Aguela, 45 Hollywood Avenue in Copaig.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please proceed.
Okay. I have one concern that I like to bring up. Looking at these plans, can you please tell me where the fire escapes are?
Okay. We will ask the applicant that, we're noting that question, so he'll, after everybody, no, hold on. We will ask that question directly, so it's all part of the record.
Okay, because
So,
I do
you
have-
have any other questions that you want?
Yes, because I'm asking that question because my family is part of the Copaig Fire Department. The building that is under the train tracks going north on the west side was built with no fire escapes. There was a fire there, they went in, and there was no way out for these people. So that's my concern. So I'm a little nervous because I've never gotten up to
Oh,
speak.
no, don't be nervous. This is a very important matter you're bringing
Okay.
to our attention.
I've been in Copaig for 54 years. The congestion with the cars is getting worse. I work at the local school. Sometimes when we have to go to the middle school or the high school, it takes us like 10 to 15 minutes. And I live right near your property. As far as saying they don't have enough parking spaces, it's going to take time to fill it up. Their main goal is to fill it up eventually, and it will be filled up, because that's why you build. What are we going to do when it is filled? You don't build something and say, well, hopefully will have parking spaces. You need to know that ahead of time. And the demographics in Copiague, we have cars. We don't go into New York City the way they're trying to portray it. 517 Oak Street is not close to the property. They're not gonna go make a right on Oak Street towards the car wash to park their car to come all the way. It's not just how, I don't think it's gonna happen. They're gonna park locally. And to include 2 parking spaces on Great Neck Road to be part of the building, that's not feasible. If you're building something, you should have it done the right way. But I am concerned about the fire escapes, because I didn't see it in the pictures.
All right. Anything else? Thank you very much.
No, that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, there is someone else. Raise their hand in the back. Okay. Want to go? Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Please state your name and address.
Lisa Korsh,
Your address?
29 Eastgate, Copiague.
Okay. Please proceed.
First of all, I'm volunteer fireman, 30 years in Copiague.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean it.
Thank you. I am a 50-year living in Copiague for 50 years. I work for Copiague School District for 30 years. I am a crossing guard in Copiague for 20 years. Very involved in the community. I live across the street from where they're going to build that. I cannot get out of my block now. I work at the middle school. It takes me 7 minutes to get a half a mile. To go to the firehouse for calls, it takes me 5 minutes. Somebody's having a heart attack. I can't even get out of my block now. Now you're going to add more people, more cars, more traffic. I don't know. I mean, I know some of you up there. I know where you live. None of you live in Copiague. If you take a ride down Great Neck Road and just see the congestion, I mean, sometimes with an ambulance, we can't get to where we're going. Tower ladders. You have a fire, getting a tower ladder around there. I don't really know. So I know the property comes off of Oak and Great Neck. The plans that are here, is that the whole building just on Great Neck?
Matt, can you pull that up for us, please? We have screens in front of us, so we see everything.
Yes. So my concern too is Oak Street. It's one lane. I was stuck on Oak Street in Amityville. That's how far back that traffic went on Oak Street the other day. Half an hour it took me to get from Bayview Avenue in Amityville to Great Neck Road and Oak Street. And then you're building this, so I don't know if you're going to be able to get to those apartments and stores off of Oak Street and then coming out Great Neck Road, if it's going to be a one-way. I'm all for developing. You know, we have a lot of empty lots that look horrible. This lot itself has had a camper sitting in it, which I spoke to Rich Schaefer about. You know, you buy something, you want to build something, you don't park a camper in there. We have a ton of homeless people. You know, we need to focus. So now you're going to have those hanging out at stores. We just lost the cleaners right on Great Neck Road. People were there forever, they shut down. Now you just have an empty building and you have more homeless people just hanging out on the sidewalks, drinking, sleeping, hanging out there. Just, you know, like I said, this is my home. I'm not going anywhere. I love Copiague, very involved in Copiague. It's just too much. You know, you want to build a couple of houses, fine, but all these units with all these cars, there's no place for anybody to go. But I appreciate you listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir. Please state your name and address.
Good evening. William Rodriguez, 66 William Street, like my name, in Copiague.
You swear to tell the truth?
I swear to tell the truth.
Whole truth, and nothing but what is 666? Is that what you're allowed? William.
Yeah, William on William Street.
William Street. Okay, I missed that. Okay. Thank you. Please proceed, Mr.
Same as my colleague residents. I've was born and raised in Copiague. So is my sister sitting over there next to me. My biggest concern is the amount of people more coming into town. As it is, in the recent years, we've gotten a building at the corner of Great Neck and Marconi, some more buildings down the street on Marconi Boulevard. There's a 13-apartment building still in planning that I was here for that, but there was only one person, I think, at the corner of Marconi and Great Neck, which is not even started yet. Where are all these people going to park? As it is, as you mentioned, it took me from William Street to Dixon Avenue 15 minutes when I was coming here at 6:30 in the afternoon. I mean, it's ridiculous. As you mentioned, I understand that something has to be built there, and you can't build homes because you're in the commercial area. But the amount of apartments that are coming into town, it's out of control. I mean, there's only a matter of time before they take out some other buildings that are on Marconi and build another building there. And I can see the future a little bit. I could say that the plan is to use the parking lot for the railroad. But yet, the building that was already built, where she said the fire was, it's a 3-story building, commercial area on the bottom, and I believe it has, I think, 8 parking spots. No fire escape. And the 13-apartment building that is going to be built, my father had a coffee shop long ago there, and it only had 2 apartments back then, and there was never any parking. How are they going to fit parking for 13 cars there, plus the new building that they're proposing, and traffic is not going to increase? By the time these new buildings are constructed, the traffic is going to be, heading north on Great Neck Road all the way up to past Southern State Parkway, and on Oak Street, as you mentioned, you'll reach the Sunrise Mall. It's just out of control, and unfortunately, in recent months or years, we've been getting a lot of unwanted residents that has a tendency of driving motorcycles in one wheels, or just not stopping at a stop sign, stopping at red lights. Unfortunately, also, people in Copiague need a car. We don't take Uber. I can speak for most of my fellow Hispanics. We don't really take Uber or take the train, because we can't take the train to go to Westbury. Like I work in Westbury. What am I going to do? Take the train to Jamaica and then take it back to Westbury? It doesn't work that way. We need a car or a motorcycle or whatever it is, a bicycle or something. I apologize, but there's no way that they could park cars for 25 apartments in that spot and still have room for the business that has to be there and have business for all the other commercial areas that are across the street, which are always, you could pass there during the day and they're all filled out. Just my opinion, but it's a little out of control, I think, the amount of buildings and apartments that are coming into town. It's a shame, because it was a nice town at one point, but it's getting bad.
Okay. Thank you
you.
very much. Appreciate you coming down. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Please state your name and address.
Donna Farina, 370 Florida Avenue in Copiague.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please
Hi,
go.
Jerry. I am the office manager of Blizzard Fence on Great Neck Road, and also the manager of the Prisco Building, and I am also the president of the Copiague Chamber of Commerce. As far as the parking, I absolutely agree with everybody. I mean, I love the idea of a new building. I think it's a beautiful thing to upgrade the town, which I am always working towards myself. But the parking is a situation. They mentioned the parking lot across the street where I park, where we were getting tickets left and right up one year, and we had a fight about it, because there's nowhere for the employees to park but over there. And then we have tenants who are allowed to park over there also. So we need that parking. He said something about, and I misunderstood, about deliveries with trucks and things like that. in front of my business, I have box trucks, 42-foot tractor trailers unloading. I don't know how they're going to get in and out of Oak Street with these trailers. I think it's going to be impossible if that's where they're loading around the back, if I understood that correctly. As far as the commercial, as the president of the chamber, I am all for that, bringing in businesses. I wish there would be more of a variety of business, maybe open a hamburger place, an ice cream parlor, get this town going like Bayshore was long ago and just build it up. You want the walkable people going to the train, stopping to get something to eat. I would love to build up this town and just improve it. I've been working with the town myself with public safety on the homeless. I know there's a problem. I've been working very hard with them, and they've been fantastic, Rich Schaefer. And also with the cleaning of the town. I have the sweepers out more. They've been working with me cleaning up garbage and everything like that. So I am trying to make an improvement. As far as the people living in the apartment buildings, the schools are overcrowded as it is. The fire department, as Lisa said, they're always looking for volunteers. So that's a little bit of a problem. What are they going to do with all these people? She said something about the fire escape, which I was thinking also. Across the street from me is 1700 Great Neck Road. Now, all those office, commercial people that have space in the front, you have the chiropractor and all that. Then you have the other commercial backed up to it. There's no way for these people to get in and out, God forbid, of a fire. Like if you're at Allstate Building, there's somebody behind them. So if he has a fire in the front, there's no way to get out of there. So I don't understand how they really built that safety-wise. But I just hope that there is a lot of safety into this building. I think there's a lot of apartments. Maybe they could lessen them a little bit. And that's it. I just, as I said, I will continue to work with the town to keep improving it the best that I can.
Oh, we very much appreciate the work of the chamber.
Thank you.
It's made a big difference.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you coming down tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name and address.
Mike Higgins, sorry, stand back. Mike Higgins, 4 McKinley Street, Copiague.
Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please proceed.
I didn't know much about the plan other than the dilapidated sign on the fence. This is worse than I really could have thought. The representative repeatedly calls us a village when we're a hamlet and tells us about how people in New York City don't have cars. The owners of the property aren't from the town either. So how many units have already been crammed into our downtown in the name of a downtown revitalization? We've gotten the apartments. Where's the commercial planning? This idea of just like cramming some apartments and hopefully something good will happen on the ground floor. There has to be at least 100 new apartments already. This building just does not fit. I mean, to say, well, we're 33% short on the spots, but it'll work out. That's not somebody that's interested in the best interest of Copiague. With all the apartments that have been approved already, some that are built, some that are being built, we've had 2 decent businesses come in. The Workout Place and Root and Branch. We've also had 2 murders along Great Neck Road and no police presence. So I'm not opposed to development, but you have to do it in the best interest of Copiague. This approach of just cramming in as much as we can and hoping something good will happen is just not working out. So that's what I want to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to address the board? Okay, come on up. Did you fill out a card?
I did not fill out
That's
a card.
okay.
I'm
We'll
sorry.
give you.
Got here a couple minutes
That's
late.
okay. Hold on. You fill it out after,
Okay.
after you speak.
Okay.
But in the meantime, Please tell us your name and address.
Yes, good evening. My name is Marisol Rodriguez, and I live at 22 Lombardi Place in Amityville.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please proceed.
As everybody has stated already, Copeg is beyond overcrowded already. I work in Farmingdale. What I do is to go home, I just go up Dixon Avenue because there's a bit less traffic in order for me to go home, take Dixon, and then Bayview. Because if I continue down Great Neck Road, complete nightmare. Complete nightmare because of traffic, and complete nightmare, as my brother mentioned, with people driving reckless. We have certain people that think that they don't have to obey laws. I've literally seen people do a U-turn under a red light, or, make an illegal turn, just swerve in front of you, like no regard for life whatsoever. That's number one. Number two, as someone mentioned already, where this building is planned to be built, sure, it's a beautiful thing. Everybody wants, their house, their neighborhood to look beautiful. But in this case, at the cost of what? There's a school nearby. As someone also mentioned, well, I did mention that. People have no regard for traffic laws, much less school buses. It happened to me once with my youngest son. My son was getting off of the school bus. The bus had the red lights on. The stop sign was sticking out. He was about to cross the street. Thank goodness I was right there. A car came and almost literally killed him in front of my eyes. And this person didn't even have the audacity to press the brake to be like, oh my God, I almost killed this child. So with the traffic already that's going on here, it's only going to get worse. You have a bunch of elementary kids coming out of school, needless to say no more, and it getting overcrowded. There's already too many kids in classrooms. I'm not going to be surprised that soon we're going to have a shortage on teachers, unfortunately. The teachers that we have, they're already pushed to their extreme. I mean, they're human too. They also have families that they have to get to. I'm sure we've all been through it. The motorcycles, the four-wheelers, doing wheelies, pure daylight, nighttime. They don't care that a car is driving in front of them, head on. They'll just keep on driving. It's ridiculous. As someone mentioned, the lower level of this new building, commercial. Okay, sure, let's build commercial. Why don't we build commercial so we could employ all these young people that are hungry to work, that are hungry to get experience? Not office buildings, no. We have plenty of office buildings. Let's build, places where they could, start developing habits of working and responsibility. The deliveries on Oak Street. I mean, that alone is a huge red flag. Passing by Oak Street right now, it's a disaster. I am surprised that people are just not, driving away with the rear view mirrors of other cars, because you literally have to squeeze through at like 10 miles per hour to not hit the car that's parked on the side. Could you imagine when deliveries start stopping there? Amazon? I mean, who doesn't get Amazon? Where are they supposed to stop? So I think I've made my point. I hope this helps. You mentioned you have other property. I think it would be best to develop in other areas where there's more open space and less traffic.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
We appreciate you coming down. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Sir, come on up.
I have a card, but no writing implement.
Okay, we'll give you a writing report, but you can fill it out after, and then
Okay.
give it to Matt, so we have you the proper
Okay.
information. Please state your name and address for the record.
Okay, my name is Walter Paluch. I live at 314 Cedar Court.
Do you swear to
Copiague.
tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
But first, does that say Pink Floyd?
It does.
All right, I like that.
Okay, so,
Okay,
okay.
please.
I wasn't really prepared to be here
Well,
tonight,
that's
so
all
I have
right.
nothing.
You're dressed perfectly fine,
nothing-
as far as I'm concerned.
Okay,
go
I have
ahead.
nothing pre-prepared. However, I need to go on the record and say how much I oppose this proposal. I think everybody has said what I would have had wanted to say. I've lived in Copiague for 70-plus years. I have seen Great Neck Road and Oak Street go from a small town to the village that it is now. Copiague, Great Neck Road was a two-lane highway with trees on the side of it. Understand, time marches on, we all move forward. That's a good thing, for the most part. But the congestion in the village is out of control. The amount of apartments being built in our village is totally out of control. The intersection of Oak Street and Great Neck Road is a red dot intersection, black dot intersection, which basically means it's a hazardous intersection. The amount of traffic, it's literally impossible to get through the village almost any time of the day. Bringing in more people, lack of parking places, its proximity to the Great Neck Road Elementary School, actually my alma mater, if you will. Worried about the type of people that might move into this area. At the same time, okay, I hate this, pedophilia, you're right near a school. The Copiague Fire Department, as it's been brought up numerous times tonight, is already overwhelmed with the daily comings and goings of what goes on in the village and their emergency services, whether it be fire or EMS. So I just needed to stand up here tonight and go on the record and say that I vehemently oppose this proposal. I'll fill out your card and...
Please, just give it to me. You can grab it right there if you want. All right. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board regarding this application? Mr. Sutton, do you want to come back?
Oh, great.
You heard from the nearby residents.
Yes, I did, and I took some notes, and
Would you like to address?
it's, I can compliment, I thought it was a village of Copiague, but I can stand as a hamlet, but,
It is a hamlet. We have
Okay.
3 villages, Amityville, Lindenhurst, and
okay.
Babylon.
well,
But that's
great.
okay.
That's good. No, I stand corrected on that.
It's still a
But-
great little community.
And it is representative when there's a turnout like this. I see that as a very positive element because it's concerned citizens that live here. It's all that. It's all good. And believe me, I'm a vehicle type person also, and it is not, I'm not talking about New York City people without cars. I'm
No,
talking-
we understand it. There are a
Yeah.
number of very particular questions that came up.
Right.
One in particular
Oh.
had to do with fire safety.
Okay,
in the
fire escape, right on the top, 100%. The IBC, the code that we use to this building has to comply with is extremely restrictive in terms of the construction assemblies that are required, the smoke-safe areas, the stair towers, the distance to the stair towers, the sprinkler systems. There's redundancy of protection for the tenants. The idea of an exterior fire escape is no longer used as an escape means for buildings. Other than old buildings, people fall off fire escapes. The safe path is in protected areas within the building that are fireproof. Separate air clean air if the fire's in the building. So all of those concerns are completely unrealistic from a construction standpoint. This building will be safer by degrees higher than almost any building around it because it is required to run the gauntlet of the building code, which is, I've witnessed the extreme, escalation of compliance. So I'll assure all the residents concerned, we are completely safe.
So you are meeting all of the codes that have been promulgated by the state of New York?
Meeting and exceeding,
Okay.
that's how we do it. And again, I can't reiterate, but I'll say it again. A fire escape out a window.
We understand.
Okay, great, good, okay, good enough. The traffic issue, I understand, it is a difficult thing to manage, like positive commerce, like tendencies that will be pedestrian traffic. One of the anchor tenants of this building is planned to be kind of a gourmet deli, grocery. You could have people eating there, up to 16 seats. So it's something that would be a draw for the tenants, someplace to go get a hamburger. You could do that here. That's the intent. That is their anchor unit, meaning the others we don't know because no one signed any leases, but that's the intent. The idea of the upper floors, with the gym in the building and all like that, it's something that, in Nassau County, they have the rooftops where they make gardens so people can have parties, birthday parties, whatever. They don't have to cram everyone in the apartment. This is the evolution that's happening with how people use buildings. And I get all the frustration with the congestion and the traffic. It's possible to get, it's almost impossible to do one of these developments without a significant traffic study being overlaid on the information that could provide a path to succeed so that everyone can
And
be
has there been a
satisfied.
traffic study? Okay, we'll review that very carefully.
Yeah, it's let's see, I'll say traffic, corner, concern, neighborhood people. The owners they live close, not in Copaig, but very close. Their intent is to operate their business in Copaig at this site, real estate business and whatever other aspects to their business is. So when they're here, it's not an absentee landlord, just random tenants that go in the building. These will be, we're providing the affordable, I think it's 6%, have to be affordable, so that's already a carve out. But the rest of them will be, you need to have a job to rent this apartment.
And by the way, you need to have a job for the affordable, too.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, do any of the board members have any additional questions?
Yeah,
Just a quick one.
sure.
It shows here an easement, a utility easement, and access at the northwest corner.
Just speak into the microphone.
Hello.
Hi.
It shows on the site plan an easement, a utility, and access easement on the northwest corner of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Does that go directly out to Oak Street?
Well, I'll tell you. It does.
I know you didn't do the site plan.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the map. I got it. It certainly does cross over the property out to Oak Street. And,
But that's through the parking lot for the flame.
well, it's actually, I know part of it from our meetings internally. That actually is a utility easement also, which essentially why it remains, because it's providing the utilities for the proposed development. So they come right down across on that property. So we need to, it wouldn't have been available. It would have been more difficult to try to get, this to work. So
This will be available for the tenants or customers to come in and out to cope through the other parking lot to come in there.
the answer is yes. Okay, good. On that site.
Sorry, I'm the question
It's
guy.
okay.
So, would your clients be opposed if we put in if the board decided together to put a requirement that they would have to include in their leases that the loading dock would be a specific area in their actual property in the parking and not on the street?
I think that's absolutely reasonable.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And then, if that was the case, would you be able to also include that there would be direction to each tenant on the path that their delivery trucks, whatever the size, they're not
Yeah.
going to be tractor trailers, I don't assume, but the box trucks would take so that they could deliver and then exit with the traffic study in mind?
I think that could absolutely be managed, you know.
Would your client be willing to relook at the number of apartments and studios and makeup to reduce in size or somehow to accommodate the needs of the hamlet and the community?
That's a very good
And parking.
question. You're right. Absolutely.
They have to talk about it, I get it.
Right, exactly. They're absolutely hopeful, and they want to do this development, and so whatever concerns, they would certainly
And quite
address.
frankly, I think that it would be in the best interest, and this is just me as a single board member, to reduce the actual use of the retail space on the lower level and maybe repurpose that as parking underneath the actual
Oh,
structure so
I see.
that the apartments would have that. But that's
Okay.
just my opinion.
Okay, very good, thank you. Are there any other questions by the board? No? Okay. Matt, where are we with this, with all the reviews? To November 13th, okay. So we need a motion to extend the record. Motion by Frank, second by Julianne. All in favor? The record is extended. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you. All right, that concludes our public hearing for this evening. I want to thank everybody for coming down. The record remains open, which means that any additional information, questions, concerns, whatever you'd like to bring to the board's attention, you can send it via email to the planning department. Just reference this